And welcome back, guys. This weekend we're at Laughton Cuckoo Fair near Lewes. Big show here, it's quite a lot to see. I don't know where to start really, but I think we'll start at the steam engines, I think, and take it from there. So anyway, it's a lovely weather. It's going to be a good weekend, so I hope you enjoy it. We're going to have a walk down towards the steamers now and have a look down here. Stanley steam car. Right there.
Okay, so I'm thinking we put it forward towards that one, and then hard lock down and bring it straight back, and end up aiming.
So how long does it take for it to steam up then?
2 hours.
2 hours, yeah.
Between 1 and 2, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it depends a bit how big a fire you raise, but you
Yeah.
normally, the first day of the weekend, you normally try and raise the fire relatively gentle. On the second or third day, you can raise it a bit quicker because the engine doesn't really cool down overnight.
That's right, yeah.
So the first day will probably be, if I said hour and a half, that's probably a good average for the first day, and then tomorrow it'll be about an hour.
So if it's like the boiler's empty, where do you fill it? It must be somewhere you fill it from.
We've just been doing that. So
Yeah.
there's a point there.
Oh, okay.
Which, if the water level gets too low, then you have to take that out and put the water in there. And we've just had to do that because the water level had dropped just enough where it's been sat idle since we last steamed her.
Yeah.
To actually need just topping up a little bit more before it was safe to actually steam it today, because you've got to have about 2/3 of a boiler full before it's really safe to steam the engine. So
But we have got a tank
there's a
underneath it.
I got a tank, yeah.
there's two big water tanks, about 30 something litres I think it is of water in the back, which should be enough to see you through for most of the day really.
Oh,
Once
okay.
it's actually running.
And obviously you've got like a pump to pump the water into the boiler somehow.
Yeah, so there's two pumps actually.
Yeah.
One of them is down there. There's a steam pump which literally drives off the main crankshaft. So all the time it's going round, the steam pump is pumping water into the boiler unless you set the bypass. But there's also a thing called an injector.
Oh, yeah.
An injector is what uses steam to basically suck water into the boiler. So it sort of jets it at the high pressure and forces the water into the boiler, so it sucks it through. Quite a clever system really, but it works. But they can be slightly temperamental, so that's why you always keep the old-fashioned water pump as a backup.
Yeah. Do you build it from a kit? Was it like a kit?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So there's a company that make kits that you get all the bits over the course of about 3 years, and over those 3 years you get a part a month. So you might get a wheel 1 month, you might get another wheel another month, so on and so forth. It's a bit like if you ever done the magazines.
That's it. Yeah, get a bit a month.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a month. It's the same sort of principle, but the packages are a bit bigger and heavier. The theory is that if you keep pace with it, then in time of sort of about just under 3 years, you have a running engine. In practice, most people don't manage to keep up with it because there's so much work to do to build the thing. By the time you've got everything painted and all the rest of it, it ended up taking us about 5 years to get it done to this point.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bits where you do something and then you go to do the next bit and you realise that having not done it before, you didn't do it quite right.
Yeah. Is it Charlie?
It is, yeah.
Charlie, you said about you copied the lettering on the original one there.
It is. If you look on the Harvey's website, they've actually got the photo of one of these from 1926, I think it was, something like that.
Yeah.
Where one of these existed. It had a slightly different back, but aside from that, we've tried to copy it as exactly as we can. So it's a replica of one that actually existed, in Lewis, literally, 5 miles down the road from here. So
yeah, it's good. Yeah.
It's quite nice to have something. It's got a bit of historical relevance, as you might say.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And is it registered for the road?
If it wasn't a vintage vehicle when you started, it is by the time you finish.
Yeah, by the time you built it. Yeah.
Almost. So the answer is it's not at the moment.
No.
I've got the paperwork to send off that it will be, but we've only just finished it very recently, so that's still in the in the to-do list, as you might say. It'll end up with probably a 2022 plate because it was completed last year. So you have what's called a certificate of newness, which is what you send off to the DVLA to confirm the sort of the build date.
Get like a boiler certificate and all that, and hydraulic test. Do you have and all that sort of thing?
We have all of that. Yeah. We got all of that done last year.
Yeah. All right.
So they last for. There's 2 tests. There's a hydraulic test that lasts 10 years, and the boiler test that lasts 14 months.
So what's the difference between those 2 tests then on that?
So a hydraulic test is where the engine is all done cold, and you basically pump it up with a pump. You have to pump it up to 1.5 times pressure. So this one runs at 200 psi. So we had to pump it up to 350 psi, which is very high pressure basically, and make sure that there's no water leaking anywhere. If you get any water leaking, then it's an instant fail. And the idea is to prove that the actual body of the boiler and that is all sound to well beyond the point that you're likely to ever use it to. And then the steam test is, as the name suggests, you actually steam it all up and it's all done hot. And just to make sure that the safety valves, first of all, again, make sure there's no leakage anywhere, but also to make sure that the safety valves cut off at the right point, because if it's running at 200 psi, you can't have the safety valves going more than about 10% beyond that 200, otherwise it's potentially beyond the safe remit of the boiler. So you have to prove all of that. And we end up with a piece of paper that says yes, we comply with all of these rules and regs, which we need to give to a man to be able to actually steam it up today. So.
Well, I suppose it goes pretty fast on the road, wouldn't it? I should think, something like that.
So the theory is that it should do no more than, I think it's 12 mile an hour per the DVLA regs.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I should say to you, it will do no more than about 12 mile an hour.
Yeah, that's it.
People off the road have managed to clock some of these at sort of 20 something mile an hour, 20, 25 mile an hour.
Yeah.
Which that's going some, and at that point you end up sitting there spending all your life putting coal in, water in, because obviously the coal is relatively small as well, so it takes quite a lot to keep it going at that point. It's quite busy. Perfectly doable. I have ridden somebody else's on the road, and actually I was pleasantly surprised because make sure you get the right way.
I suppose it's quite a long time we put coal on it. How often do you have to chuck it in? Not a lot, I suppose.
It depends how heavy you're driving. If you're just chuffing along gently on the road, then probably every half hour you put more coal on it. If you're working hard, then you can empty a fire box in a few minutes.
Yeah.
The same is true of the water. If you're working hard, then you've got to be pumping water in all the time. Otherwise, the boiler level, you can almost sort of see it going down on these things.
I was speaking to guys with the big ones, and they talk about the steam coal. You get it from Russia and Poland and things like that now. You can't get it from like Wales now, can you? I suppose. Yeah.
So the lot we're running on here, I think, is the remains of some Polish. I think we're running on here.
Okay.
Which is fine. A little bit smoky, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It does seem completely stupid to me that we've got all of this coal sitting in the ground in Wales.
That's right. Yeah.
And the government have decided that they're not going to let them mine any more of it, just because it's not ecologically advantageous to do so, but instead that it's actually better to put it on heavy boats and transport it halfway around the world.
That's it. Yeah.
Because technically the sort of carbon offset is then Poland's problem, not the UK's problem.
Oh, right.
Which it's a pure paperwork thing. It's just such a nonsense.
I mean, that's coal we've got in this country, you know.
We've got,
it's crazy.
We've got plenty of the stuff,
Yeah.
and it cannot be more ecologically sensible to be shipping it halfway across the world. It just cannot. That cannot make sense.
No. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I live in hope that somebody will come to their senses and they will realise that that's a bad idea. But unfortunately, time is ticking on that one because another few months and the probably have got to start filling everything back in Wales. So if they don't come to their senses in that time, it's never going to happen. Yeah, completely stupid in my opinion.
Yeah. So training Charlie up to be a driver.
There's a thing called the Steam Apprentice Club, which is run by the National Traction Engine Trust, and they do Steam Apprentice driving days where young people like Charlie can actually get to drive these, because doing it around here you have to have an adult on the controls, because legally it's like driving a car, that you can't drive a car below a certain age, but you can be a passenger in a car below a certain age. And the same is true with these, that Charlie can do the steering because the steersman isn't the person in control of the vehicle. The person in control of the regulator is the person in control of the vehicle. And much the same rules apply. But then,
because I'm a steam apprentice, I'm insured to steer.
So,
16.
is it?
16 I can do. Fine.
Oh, right.
something like that. So I have to double check. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's something like that.
No, it's like the full size ones, the rollers. You've got to have a roller license, haven't you?
Yeah.
But what about the ordinary one, the road ones? Can you have a car license to drive a road?
You can.
You can.
That is, yeah, exactly.
Right.
So that is the stupidity of it. That to drive the tractors on the road, as long as you've got a license that allows you to drive something of the weight, then you're okay.
Oh, okay.
Because like a lot of people's licences only let them drive up to 3.5 tonne, whereas some of those tractors are over 3.5 tonne, so you'd have to have a licence for like a 7.5 tonne or something licensed to drive.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But you don't need the roller licence, whereas the guys with the rollers there have probably had to drive one of these little diesel put rollers.
That's it. Yeah.
For a day just to pass the test so that they can drive that on the road.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. It's like
Yeah, I have known people who have actually used the roller for going and doing their roller test. And they turn up at the DVLA test centre with their steam roller, and the tester comes out and is sort of standing there scratching his head about how the hell do I test you on this? But
well,
technically, there's nothing to say they can't do that. So yeah, I think some of them do it almost just for the enjoyment factor of winding up the DVLA testers, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, this one on the road would be just under a normal car licence because it's about 1.5 tonne. So
right.
as far as that's concerned, a normal car licence, which gives you 3.5 tonne, is fine.
Yeah, like something like this you probably may get into a garage, couldn't you? Your garage, some sort of somewhere.
Yeah. Well, it lives in the garage at home some of the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, when it's not travelling around in the trailer behind.
Yeah.
Nice
Thanks.
little toy.
Yeah.
Did you do that smoke box up?
Fairly thin car, 1907. I mean, just look at those headlights on there, aren't they gorgeous? I can tell you, I mean, obviously I know it's very different to the owner himself, but I know that he bought this basically as a box of kit, and it was a pretty full site. He had to take out a second mortgage a month to buy it, but he did buy it, and I know he had colour system stuff, but I think it was, did you say 7 years or 17 years? 14 years. 3 years there, yeah. And I know you didn't build it, but you bought it for yourself. But you don't know this for long, is it? That's the one. Fair enough, yeah. I've seen this young gentleman all rallies and I'll tear them in, all the years and I'll tear them into there. He started his career at rallies. Which one of these? A mobility. Normally this would have a little style living man on the back down the trailer, but unfortunately this little damage occurred with that, so we don't want to bring it around. There's another one of their lovely miniatures. This one is a lovely poster, and the poster training. Yeah, absolutely. Those two, all of them, look at them going up. But I don't care, I never want them, they're great, you know. You know about poetry, but don't try out the shower, shouldn't we? Poetry launches now, and the Queen, there you go. Barrels are set up there in Laughton. This one's going through the snow. Now, this is single parent compound. double track content. Sorry, there was another one. By compound, what I mean is it's got two pistons instead of one. And if you look at the front we've got a lovely Foster there from Foster, up in Lincoln, we've got the 1/6-inch style for an honour. We've got a Motor steam wagon there, and Motor's built a lot of steam wagons with that, Daddy built quite a lot of these. Not making it better. Now we've got another. I'm sure it's give you a bell if you have the phone, but I don't even do it, but nice to see it. Thanks for bringing it in. There we go. Another nice bit of barrel. Excellent, thanks very much. Yeah, another one with that frozen string wagon, which is a little bit different. This is the white supply wagon. Very smart machine, and very nice to see. Now that's it, folks, for the speed. Many thanks to these brothers. Let's get it over and done with. There we go. You've got to let them have that fun, that's your friend. Nice to see you. Now I'm cleared the wax from my ears, I can just go and do other things. Yep. Right, well thank you very much, and here you go, see you, and lovely to see you. Take care. It's on my truck when you're easy. Good. No.
Well, thanks for watching, guys. That's the end of part 1 here at the Laughton Cuckoo Fair. Stay tuned for part 2. In the meantime, hit the like button and please subscribe, and I'll catch you then.